Hello Papercrafters and hello DIY crafters in general, especially for this video. Maybe you saw how I recently unboxed over 4000 sheets of colored papers and maybe you was wondering how I will store them. I was wondering too, and you know, I always wanted a metal rack like this, which you can see for example in stationeries. But these are provided by the paper manufacturers to retail stores and I didn't find a way how to get it. So I built my own. Check this out. This is paper rack created from IKEA Kallax, and if you like it and thinking about to build your own, you can find a link for blueprints in the description, which I share with you for free. And if you want to see the video how to build this, let's get started. So, after I decided to create my own paper rack, I stick with the solution of originally 2x2 IKEA Expedit from the very beginning because I like the form factor, it's very cheap and possible to buy almost everywhere in the world, and it will give me some extra space on the top which I will use for my laser cutting machine. Now I'm somewhere in the middle of the building process, and before we will finish it together, I would like to sum up the parts which are already done. The first and the most important was recreating from 2 columns into 3 column system. After I built the original 2x2, I realized that there is so much wasting potential of the inner capacity. And fortunately, after precise measuring, I discovered that the 3 columns will be exactly enough for the width of the paper. And to create 3 columns, I did need 2 more these vertical separators. The options was create them from scratch from any piece of wood, get them from some damaged another piece of Kallax, and the third option, which I actually did, to buy them in the IKEA store as a replacement part. It cost me about 15% of price for this new 2x2 Kallax, and it definitely worth the money. They are same size as the original two, so you need just 2 of them. They are same color, prepared holes, you are ready to go. So with these 2, only you need to do is to create 12 holes, 4 in the bottom, 4 in the middle part and 4 in the top part, and cover the original holes from the middle original position. And after that you will get from this through this. Let's move to the next step, and it's shelves itself. I had several goals to meet. The first of them was to create 7 or 8 slots in each section to cover all the color shades I have. Checked. And I was so lucky because it's enough for a pile of 100 sheets of paper, and there is still room for my fingers. Goal number 2, use some cheap material because there is plenty and easy to cut. Checked. I used 3mm HDF board, white from one side from the factory, which perfectly met the color of Kallax itself. To be exact about amount of these HDF parts, in case of all these 6 sections, there is 42 shelves, 96 sides and 12 the front lines. So we are talking about 150 pieces. Goal number 3, design some smart solution which will easy to build and also will allows me to remove or replace the shelf itself. And it's because maybe there will bend during the time, and maybe I will need a bigger slot for one specific color. Checked. The initial idea was to have wall side from the one piece, simple to glue, with these cut lines on the CNC laser machine. But the mine is not strong enough, and I had to outsource the cutting job to someone else, so I had to expand the shape in the individual rectangles, which is easy to cut on the table saw. And it's also easy to mount together, so I came up with these individual simple parts. It's good to start with this thin part and glue it vertically like so, because it's creating a straight line which is easy to align all the sides on the same level, and also later is aligning all the shelves on the same level in the front, like this. So the gluing parts it cannot be easier, and you just need to follow the level by level. So you will glue the one level first, then you will place the shelf and you can continue. And the shelf will create the space between them exactly for the thin of the shelf itself. The gluing process cannot be more easy. Spread the glue on the part Set the distance by the shelf thickness, then stick the part to the place. Thanks to this glue, it holds into place immediately. At the end, slide it a little bit with your fingers to spread the glue into perfect thin layer, and the part holds into place. And that's it. I have also 2 tips for you. Since I don't have a desk saw, I was asking for cutting these old parts in a local hobby shop where they are selling this HDF board, and they did all the cutting for me as a service. So maybe in your case, if you are wondering how to solve this, try to ask. And the second tip, I was asking for an acrylic color to cover all the edges, and in the shop they advised me to buy this pen, which is actually for space between tiles in the bathroom for removing them. And this pen makes the job very well. It's very easy to use, it covers nicely, maybe you will do 2 or 3 coating maximum, and you don't need any brushes or any other tools. As I mentioned before, I was super lucky about the inner dimension after dividing into 3 columns, because I got the exact width for an A4 paper, which is a standard in European countries, as same as in the Czech Republic where I'm located. If you are inspired by this project and you want to create your own paper rack from Kallax, and you are using a different paper standard, like for example a US letter in United States, it will not fit. US letter is 8.5 inch width, which is exactly 6 mm more than an A4 paper. But luckily, there are 2 solutions. At first, you can save this 6 mm by using a different mounting method for the shelves, like for example pins, or you can make these vertical separators from something thinner, and then you will be fine. Just keep this in mind and measure twice before you start build. And now let's move to the another part, which is the back of the rack. In the plan was to cover all the back with another boards to keep all the paper clean and prevent them from the dust and dirt. So I ordered them too. As you can see, they don't hold into place. So I was thinking how to mount them to be able to remove them for servicing the shelves in case. So I think that the best solution is take these wooden sticks, make a holes here and fix them by something like this. And there is a fact that these sides are just air wrapped in the paper. There is nothing, there is no mess. There are just specific places for bolts which can be mounted together, but we cannot drill anywhere. So I need to use only these, because these are actually like filled with the material. Originally, I thought that I will use these holes, because at first they are already here, and the second there is some wood inside, so they are strong. They are actually for mounting this piece to the wall, and use them for to secure this corner. I found some spare parts from the IKEA, which are actually exactly for this usage. Then I found the different part from IKEA, this plastic one, which can be used in these holes, and it's height adjustable. So it seems to be perfect solution to hold this piece of wood in this corner. But now I hope that 4 holes for this middle piece and 3 holes for this side piece will be enough. So let's figure out. I need a mark line for drilling holes, and since this is a diameter 6 mm and this is thick 3 mm, I can get into the center of the hole by adding 1 more piece. Unfortunately, the drill with the bit is longer than the space I have, so I was afraid that I will need disassemble all this to make these holes. But fortunately, I found this guy, which should provide exactly what I need at this moment. So let's see. So as you can see, all the covers are in the place, they hold perfectly fine. The 3 joints are good enough, so these corners are not need to be mounted. What actually surprised me was this part, because even in this is actually the pocket of air. So classic IKEA, they can make anything hollow. Okay, so let's continue. So last step but not least, let's focus on the wheels. Mobility of this paper rack was my high priority, because at first there will be over 50 kilograms of papers, so it will be heavy, and at the second, as I said on the beginning, I will have some device, the CNC laser cutter on the top, and maybe I will need to move it time to time since using. And also I have a digital study office in a flat and a workshop in the basement, so I will need to travel with this time to time. Since IKEA is not offering the official wheels for Kallax/Expedit shelves anymore, I need to find another solutions. So let's see what I came with. So these wheels are IKEA real, if I'm right, and what's the challenging about them? As I explained before, this is actually just paper filled with the air, so you don't have much options to drill or mount something on this. There is absolutely no material to hold it. This is not official way of the IKEA, because they are actually officially not offering any wheels for this part of furniture. So I made this one hole slightly bigger to fit this bolt through, and it's holding all the strength. To prevent any rotating these plates around this one bolt, I've used these 2 small screws, and 4th hole is not used at all. But this works for now, and I hope it will work even with the 50 kilograms load. And this solution has also one advantage. This bolt is possible to remove and disassemble all the rest of the Kallax without removing the wheels, because I think that this cannot be removed and reattached more than once, maybe 2 times. And during iteration on this wall project, I was actually dismount this bolt already to be able to disassemble it, but the wheels can stay on the place. Okay, did you wonder why this one section is still empty and why I did not fill it with the shelves like the others? I have all these components to put them into this section too, but that's actually the plan B. And what's the plan A? Let me show you. So this is the plan A, because to be able to store some material bigger than A4, like for example the envelopes, which are not fitting, I can put them nicely vertically. So before I will glue it, I want to test it and see if I will using the material like this. If not, I will put them the same shelves like in the another sections. Voila! The horizontal part is the same 3mm desk, but from the opposite side there are 4 pieces glued, and with the spacing for these rails to hold the vertical parts. And also it's white by the pen. And one more thing I made on these vertical parts. From the manufacturer, only one side is white, but on these vertical splitters you can see both sides. So how I made it to be white on both? I simply applied the white matte foil on this side as a very easy solution, and this edge is also painted by the pen onto the white. Okay guys, the time has come. Finally, I was waiting so long for this moment. Let's get this rack filled up. So guys, what do you think? Does it worth the effort? I think definitely yes. So I think we are done for today. If you like this project and interested maybe to build it, I'm sharing the blueprints with you for free. You will find a link in the description. Let me know in the comment if you like it or if you have some ideas. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give a thumbs up. It will really help me and to the channel. Consider the subscription if you are interested in do-it-yourself project and especially do-it-yourself paper crafts, paper models. Turn on the notification if you don't want to miss next videos about story of cut and glue or about the new models I will release. And also you are warmly welcome to become my Patreon if you want to support me a little bit more. Thank you so much. You are awesome, stay creative, and don't forget to share your love for paper. Bye for now.